everybody, to the Firehouse Fan Club, where we bring the fans to the firehouse. I am your host, Lieutenant Scruggy, and our co-host.
Hi, I'm Nicole, Captain Nicole Brock.
And we have a special guest online with us, Captain Brittney Baker.
Great to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's nice to see another fellow female captain in the ranks. So welcome.
Yeah.
Your two bugles.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So officially, how long has it been since you received this great promotion?
Officially, it's been about just under 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Brand new. Well, first of all, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is
Thank you.
an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to be talking to someone of great stature.
Thank you.
And just give everybody a quick background. This is my friend and classmate, all right, of the EDI program. Give you a quick backstory. Our first year there, Brittney is very focused. And I thought she was mean, and I said, I'm not going to even network with this person. And really missed out on a whole year of a great person. So second year, I said, you know what? I'm going to break away from the shell, and I'm talking about awesome person. Super supportive, super helpful, and very career-driven and focused. Yeah, so the moment that we literally exchange information, it's been a blessing ever since.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So now what is EDI? For those that aren't aware of EDI program.
EDI is a program. It's a 1-week course for 5 years. And what they do is they kind of train you in the fire service, right? They kind of give you the ins and outs of the fire service. So it's not just riding a big red fire truck. They show you literally ins and outs of how to run from a small fire department to large scale fire department.
Nice.
And it's people from all over the country that you can network with on how to do firefighting strategies and tactics, from executive memos to letters to, and these are from firefighter all the way to chiefs.
Nice.
All the way to chiefs.
Wow. Okay.
So they pretty much train you
Right.
how to be a chief.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's your next step. That's your next step, right, Captain Baker? She's like, I've just been here 2 weeks.
You know the crazy part is that since I got hired on, most of the people here of all races have been like, I get the Madam President, the Madam Chief Baker, Madam Captain Baker. Well, before I even became captain, before I took the driver's test, there was all these extras being added in, and so it's a couple of years out at a minimum. Like you have to be a captain for at least 6 years with 2 years on the street before you can take the chief's test.
Wow.
But it's not out of the sights now at this point, because it's like I'm already doing the work. A lot of the things that I do, which I didn't realize were chief level work, because I just do them and I love doing them. So it was never, this is what a chief would be doing or this is what a captain would be doing. It's just been natural for me, and so it's not far out, but I got time and I want to work my way up. So
Okay, that is beautiful. That's beautiful. Now, what's your years in service?
So in total, I've been on the department as like on the suppression side for 6 years since 2018, but I've been on the department since 2012. And I went through our EMS Pathways program, which I currently run. And then I worked on our BLS unit for 6 years before getting hired on the suppression side. Worked as a firefighter for 5.5 years, made driver in December actually, and then captain as of 2 weeks ago. So.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice. So, you have something else. So, quick question for you. Having been in the fire service for 6 years, so, and that's, first off, is to be commended. I'm not sure what the what your demographics look like in St. Paul. Do you all have a lot of women? Because here in Atlanta, of course, I'm a captain here in the city of Atlanta, and I made captain this is about my 10th year, going into my 10th year as a captain. And there are, I think at last that I counted, there are 6 female captains as it stands, and we run about 700-800 firefighters. So there's still a ways to go as far as like getting women into like these, I guess, ranking structures, you know. But it's the challenge too is just getting women into fire service, you know, as it stands.
Yes.
So that's a huge. Do you find that it's hard getting women into St. Paul?
Yes and no. I would say my cousin's the chief of Minneapolis Fire. We definitely struggle competing with it because you don't have to have your EMT to get hired in Minneapolis, but St. Paul you do. And so, like, I'm a paramedic, and most of us women are paramedics. We have quite a few that are EMTs, but a lot of them are going to medic school. Yeah. But the thing that I think most, especially for women of color here, because I'm one of 4 Black women on the suppression side, and we have 1 Black female that's on our BLS side, so there are only 5 of us total, with 450, 460 of us that are around. Making a space that's comfortable for people.
Right. And
I think that's the most important thing. A lot of people kind of shy away from it because they're like, you know, I got to go and work with certain people that don't agree with who I am as a person and the way that God made me.
Right.
And so, number one, like making it a comfortable space for them to be. But so that's why I teach the EMT class. This is my almost 11th year teaching the EMT class. And a lot of those young women are like, you know what, I actually do want to do it. And so working with them on the physical portion, helping them get on our BLS unit, so that they can get the experience before they come in. But I think most importantly, to get more women on, to get more people of color on, and actual good, solid people, it will be like to show them how to take space. And that doesn't mean pushing somebody else out of a space. It just means you taking space so you can feel comfortable and make it a comfortable place for them to be. Is I think the most important thing. So that's the hugest struggle that her will have to get over first.
Absolutely, that is very true. I think that's a national issue. That's a fire service issue, you know, that comfort. And to your point that you were making earlier, that being Black and female, it is quite threatening to a lot of, you know, to the majority of, I don't want to say the majority, but to a lot of men on the own departments in the fire service period. There's still this buffering of getting people to not have a discomfort, you know, with Black women making, you know, being officers in the station. So there's still that growth that needs to happen. So.
And I definitely do think it's changing, because I think it's now getting to where it's the right person for the job.
I think so. Well, yeah.
It's getting the right person for the job. It's not just, oh, this is my friend.
Right.
Because as we can see, that doesn't work.
You don't think so? I disagree. I disagree. I'm sorry. I disagree. I would love to agree with you on that. However, she's the first Black female captain, and it's 2024. So I can't imagine that at some point, you know, and we're still saying a lot of firsts in 2024. And we're still missing firsts. Like, there are still departments that hasn't had a first.
Right.
But there are also departments that have had women in place, but there's still a huge lack and gap in putting women in different places, because I don't believe the fire industry has accepted, you know, the idea of women being in leadership roles. So I think there's a gap.
We have a different dynamic here. So like in Stroke's knowledge, Bobby, like I'm the second to ever be hired on the department. But when I got hired in 2018, we didn't have one for 10 years. So there weren't any Black women when I got hired in my department. So I came in as the second, and she retired as a driver. So there's, you know, there was a possibility of her being able to be a captain, but being realistic, like, it wasn't, in a way, there really wasn't. So I actually have a lot of friends on Minneapolis Fire that have less time on than I do. And it wasn't until we sat and had the conversation, and one of them looked at me like, at this brunch, it's about 20 of us at the brunch and about 10 to 15 of us for firefighters. And she was like, you're most senior here. Like, in terms of like rank of fire, like there were, you know, women that are lawyers and police officers and stuff. She like, in terms of fire, like at this brunch right now, you're the most senior.
Wow.
And I'm literally looking around and I'm like, yo, like I only got 5 years on, like, but I'm the most senior. Like, this is crazy.
Right.
So I do think that and like you said, and to your point as well, like there is that fear. And I remember my cousin saying that to me before he retired from here. He was like, yo, like, I don't know if it's fear or respect, but they love you here. But I definitely think there's a whole lot of fear. But when I came out, though, I came out just being me. And one thing about me, the way I grew up, the way that my mom raised me, when my uncles raised me, it'd be a lot. You could say a lot about me, but you won't outwork me. And so that you may not like me, but you're going to respect me because again, you're not going to outwork me. But I'm gonna make you, if you want to, you can try, and we can go there. But
right.
you're not going to outwork me, right? So that's, I think, the thing that changes as well. Like some people get kind of afraid and they get scared to be the first. They get afraid to be even the second. And I've had women on our department say it. There's four of us, four female captains. Of the 97 that are captains, four of us are women. And I've had people say, like, you know, well, you just got to beware the guys. They won't listen to you. They won't respect you. And I'm like, well, all right. I think sometimes that does come down to race, but a lot of times it comes down to the person. If you don't have any confidence in yourself, you can't expect somebody else to have that confidence in you. And then once you have all those things and you make sure that your paperwork matches what it's supposed to match, so if you don't come in beating them on paper, we know that's another thing that sets us back. And so make sure that you don't just come in with the bare minimum because we don't get to do that, especially not as African Americans. We don't get to do that. No. You coming in black and you want to do this job, okay, but you only have this. Well, yeah, I'm going to choose this person. And then if you don't have more credentialing than they do, then they'll say, well, you don't have that. Right. So make sure that you have that paperwork together too. Right. And then having that command presence, whether you're a female or a male. Because if you're a male and you don't have that command presence, as a woman, I'm not even following you. So it's a lot that goes into it.
That's true. That's very true. That's true. Yeah, I agree. That's very well put.
So doing a little research, she's not going to bring this up, but I am because I'm very, very proud. And just these are the awards that Miss Captain Brittney Baker has received in the last 2 years. Right? You have the IAFF Local 21 Paul Barrett Award. You have the NASE MSP Award winner, the Haley Q. Brown Hero Award winner, the Minnesota 100 Firefighter of the Year. You have the Cena Foundation Stephanie Dillion Inspiration Award winner, and the IAB PFF Chief Jones Scholarship Award winner.
Get it. Oh my goodness. Well, you did that.
Yes, this is just in the last 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's that not outworking you.
Yeah, that's most of those awards are from community service. The last one is the scholarship award is for Black firefighters in the IAB PFF can apply for the scholarship for Columbia Southern to finish up a degree. And I have a degree in EMS, but I wanted to go back, and so I was paying for my bachelor's in EMS. But I wanted to switch it up, so I ended up winning that one to do emergency management, homeland security instead. Just trying to diversify, and then honestly, like to run a department, like departments only run on EMS, and we're all hazards, emergency management, right? So that's where that one came from. But all the rest of them are community service. Like I'm huge on community, right? And we say all the time, you know, if we see it, we can be it. And we know that there's a gap in community services that are provided to us versus provided to everybody else. And so just being able to be there, like we help other people too, but I'm humbled by all of them. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, they're like, well, how'd you do it? Like, or, you know, what do you need? Just need bodies. Just get out there and do work.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's why I'm very familiar with that. And I think that's a passion that women and how the fire service can better utilize women in the community, because that is the community. You know, I'm not saying that there aren't men in the community, but when you look at the average household that's being run, it's, you know, it's there's going to be a mom somewhere, you know, there's a mother somewhere or a grandmother, but there's that representation, that female representation. And we've always said it that, you know, if more departments would utilize their women, you know, it would be game changing on how
Absolutely.
Society responds and how society engages, you know, and how they recognize the fire service. You know, they really need to bring more women in and into that, you know, into that community service side.
Absolutely right. Okay, so Ms. Brittney, we have a couple questions for you, if you don't mind. And it just goes into your professional experiences, leadership, management, your operational competency, all that good stuff. How would you describe your leadership style?
That's a good question. It changes. It depends. Honestly, depends on who I'm with. Depends on where I'm working. What needs to be done. I'm not much of an authoritarian. I do value other people's opinions, but in certain situations, it changes. But I will say, if you ask any of the guys I've worked with, I'm a mom. Like that's really what it comes down to. Like I'm a mom. Like no, we're going to do our job. You're going to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But yeah, like even taking leadership classes at school right now, I'm like I don't really fit into. I'm kind of in the middle.
Okay.
Like I definitely believe in like leading by example. If I ask you to do some work, I'm gonna get out there and do the work with you.
That's right.
And I wouldn't ask anything of anybody that I'm not willing to do myself. And I don't have a problem with showing you how to do it. But I also believe that like constructive criticism is a two-way street. So like I will definitely critique something that you may have did wrong and talk to you and coach you on how to do it better. But if I'm messing up at something, I ask that question daily, like what can I do better?
That's awesome.
Like is there something I'm not doing right? Is there an expectation you have of your leader that I'm not doing right now? And tell me how to do that. And I definitely, if I'm with my crew, I do it the same way I raise my kids. You may have multiple kids. You love them the same, but each one of them has to be loved differently in their own way. And so that's how I lead them. Like I will lead, I'm still going to be a leader, but I'm going to lead you in the way that's best for you to reach the goal that we need to get to. So I don't really have a style. Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of fit all of them. Depends on the situation. Depends on what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So how do you prioritize tasks and make decisions during an emergency situation?
So actually, one of our classmates kind of already did this, but put it into perspective a little bit different. Like just continuously using like the LIP method of like life safety, instant stabilization, property conservation. If lives aren't in danger, stabilize the incident, and do that the best way that you can. And if there's no incident to be stabilized, is there property that needs to be conserved? But always make sure that safety is number one. Like I have kids, I have a family to get home to, and that's going to be my priority for you guys, for my crew as well. How are we going to get home? What's the best way for us to get home? And if we got to leave something so we can get home, that's not necessarily like threatening somebody else, then we'll do that. Yeah.
Is this where Mr. William kind of drilled you over?
Man, understatement. Bro was brutal when it came to that captain's training. I was like, I don't like this at all.
Wow.
Hey, but it
it
though, didn't it?
It worked.
It worked.
I have a question for you real quick.
Okay.
So what brought you into the fire service? Like what was your thing that got you here? Like what was your attraction to the fire service?
I actually was gonna go to school for nursing, do pediatric oncology. And a friend of mine told me about the EMT Pathways program with fire, and she's like, it's free. You can get your EMT training. I think you'd be really good at it. You should go take the class, and then you can use it to get a job, do patient care while you're still trying to go to school for nursing. So I went to the EMT program, and like 2-3 weeks into it, my dad was actually shot by the police. And so I didn't go to work the next day, but I went to class. And while I was at class, I was like, no, like this is for me. It felt like that's where I needed to be. It felt natural. It wasn't just like going against the grain. Like it was still hard work, but it didn't feel like an uphill battle. It just felt like I was running a race, but it wasn't uphill for me. And then everything felt natural. And then from there, it just kind of took off. And 12 years later, I'm here. So.
Yeah, we've had this conversation, I think, last year. It's a calling.
It is.
It's a calling.
Yeah.
It is.
It's so funny because when I asked you that because I used to work at this immigration law firm, and we were working like really, really late one night, and it was over Dallas Airport. And so I was looking out, and it's like 10 o'clock at night, and there are all of these. Now I know there are units. I know now. So I'm watching all of these emergency vehicles going out to the plant, and I was like, man, that was like fun. Next day, I'm at Fairfax County Fire Department being a volunteer. I was like, I'll take it. And it was all because I fell in love with the lights. But then again, I had to go with it's like you. It became a calling. Like this became a thing for me. Like I felt like I was, I don't know. It was just. I think by the first day I got in, I actually finished the only female in my class. We started with like 35 people, 40 people maybe. We ended up with 13. And we called our recruit team. Well, one was the Antichrist. So because it was so brutal. But yeah, it's definitely calling. It's definitely calling. Like it takes a special thing to be in this kind of service, you know.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you handle stress and emotional impact of this job?
Wow, good question. Whoa.
This is my first time doing
this is
research.
good.
This is good.
A lot of prayer, a lot of family.
Yeah.
Even my students have become like my family. I know, sure as you and I are friends on Facebook, so like the picture of the 6 kids, only 2 of them I actually gave birth to. The students. And then I travel a lot, and I love to travel, and just a lot of reflection. Like, so I'm born and raised in St. Paul. So a lot of the stuff that I see on the job is actually like personal for me. Mm-hmm. And so, like, luckily I was off the streets last August, but my B shift was working, and my nephew got killed. And so, like, I knew the guys that responded to the call, and I was like, all right, I'm happy that's the day I'm not working. So dealing with the stress of the job every day is a little bit different for me than it is for a lot of other people. Like, being from here, it's not a whole lot of people that I don't know. So just taking that time to actually like decompress and spending time with my family, my friends, and not forgetting how to live is a huge thing. A lot of people get to a point where they live to exist and don't live to live. And so, you know, every loss for me is just more reason for me to live and value the time that I do have. That's the one thing we can't get back.
That's true.
That's true.
That is very true. That's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Woo. So here you are, 2 weeks in. Where are you at now? Are you in the station, or are you at over? You're at the station.
I'm still at headquarters. Okay. I've been down here since July 1st.
Okay.
But I'm currently down here. Like I said, I run our EMS program along with one of our other classmates, Christian Lewis. Okay. So we run our EMT program, but right now we have this is our first one we've ever had in high schools. So it's for high school seniors in St. Paul. They'll graduate with their diploma, with their EMT, and then we will have one starts in June in partnership with our city program. That's like 18 to 24-year-olds. They all get a stipend. They all get 9 college credits. Then setting up the one in the fall, which is our county program, so that'll be countywide. And they also get the 9 college credits and the stipend. So I'm off the streets currently until May, and then in the middle of May, once this class is finished, and I get back from Pittsburgh, then I will go back to the streets. But I did work on Saturday, and it was nice being back. I got to pick up overtime at my house at 9.
Oh,
so
nice.
It was
Nice.
yeah.
What's your call volume?
So last year, our department, like our city isn't terribly large, but last year we did about 64,000 runs. Okay. We're on track to do about the same. Okay. So.
Yeah. Okay. What about your station? Like where?
9's usually about like 9-10 calls a day, but that's on the engine, and then the medical usually does about 10 to 12, just depends. But we have some stations, which one of my boys is trying to get me to bid right now. Oh. They do about 30 a day. I'm like, man, I ain't gonna make that. Yeah, 30 a day, I would not survive.
That's wow.
Yeah.
That's wow. Wow.
That's a wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's no sleep.
Yeah, no, they engine 3, engine 8, Medigate, and then we have 2 like power rigs, but they do about 20 on average a day.
So what are
if
your
not
shifts?
more.
What's your shift? Are you like 24/48 or what is your shift?
No, we are like a modified Kelly, so it's every other day for 7, off for 4, every other day for 7, on for 6.
Ooh, I do like that, but that's probably all you've known, huh?
Yeah, no, I like it because if I take my 4-day segment off,
Yeah.
which take your 96 hours of vacation, whenever you're off for 17 straight.
Oh, that is okay. That does have a plus.
Yeah.
That does have a plus.
So I like it. And if you time it right and you do it on a 4-day off,
You get that 4
you come
break
back.
in.
Yeah, you work it 4 days and you're off for 6. So
That's
it
right.
works out. You just gotta plan it right.
Just gotta work it. That is all about working the system. That is so true. Wow. That is so true. Yeah, when Scruggs told me about you a couple weeks ago, I was like, we got to have her on. It's like,
Yeah,
we
no,
got to
I
talk to
appreciate it.
I told her she was amazing.
Yeah, you are. Like, that is an absolute treat. An absolute treat. We have been so blessed to have you come and join us today and give us such gems because and we wish you all the best. Like it ain't easy out here, that's for sure.
It's really not. I actually had a moment this morning, and I just was like, I'm myself,
Right.
but I tell them all the time, like, y'all been getting don't bring Brittney out. So let them be Brit.
Yeah, that's what I tell. I tell my kids, I'm like, don't get Nikki from the 90s. Like, if you get Nikki from the 90s, it's not who you want to see. That's not who you want to go with.
Not at all. I'm like, it's funny as my friends that be like, man, if pray with me, don't play with me was a person.
Oh, I love
She's
that.
right here on our screen.
Yeah.
I
So
love
no,
that.
but I was telling you about it's crazy, like you said, like I'm like, I've had the honor of meeting a lot of different women doing the job, and to even have like my good friend Alexis Monday from Cincinnati.
And we're looking forward to having her. We gotta have her next.
Yeah,
she became the first, and I'm like, they got about 800 firefighters.
That's huge.
She the first one there.
That's like her size.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, Cincinnati they're big, so it's crazy to see that. Like their Black Fire Association, if I'm mistaken, I think they got about 220 members in their Black Fire Association.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's huge. That's a big chapter.
Yeah.
It's a huge chapter.
Yeah.
A quarter of their department.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. That is huge. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm just joined the women in the fire service again. So, have you had a chance that you're in that as well?
Yep. I'm a member of Women in Fire. Member of like a couple of different Black organizations here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I actually talked to the interview that you got to see online.
Yeah.
That challenge one I was reading was actually Tony's. Chief Washington. But make sure I got one of them.
You know, and speaking of Tony, so I'm just first Black woman. So Rosemary Cloud is really huge here in Atlanta. I'm sure you're familiar with her. You have anything to do with anything fire service. She has made, and I have repeated this so many times because this has become my mantra, right? She said, it's okay to be the first, but it's not okay to be the only. See, well, he said something there. And so I have always embraced that need to bring more people up. You know, I'm gonna say I'll never stop championing for the rights of those who need the representation, right?
No, I got a lot of crap for my comments on my news interview about that. Like, you know, I don't want to just open the door. I want to make sure it don't close, and not just make it close. Like, you know, each step that I take moving forward. All right, now that the door is open, I'm just gonna, slow turn by slow turn, remove the screws and take off the hinges because there shouldn't even be a door.
There shouldn't. But Cap, you know what that is?
There shouldn't be.
But you know what that is? Hit dogs holler. Hit dogs holler.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's right.
You can't even embrace that. Hit dogs will holler. And if you have a mistake, then you got it.
When you break, they gonna hate.
I love it.
When you break, they gonna. So I'm like, I be trying to remain humble.
Yeah.
It's this sometimes like it's like I showcase, I don't broadcast
That's right.
things that I've done, but I'm all about bringing more with me. I don't care what you look like.
That's right.
If you got the, so I'm more of a like diversity is a mindset. Like I'm all for us all day long.
That's right.
But sometimes diversity is a mindset because I've had you should come being able to be around them, especially our class. Our class is a little bit different. The energy our class has to watch, not even myself promote, but everybody else, and to be able to get the help to practice for this test, because I definitely didn't want to practice with nobody from here. I don't want them saying I got the answers to the test from nobody, that they said me nothing. So I went outside and I went to my classmates from EDI to get the help that I needed to get. So
yeah,
our class is
yeah,
like literally game changing.
that's awesome.
We
That
have
is
literally
beautiful.
everybody in every section, in every department.
I keep hearing that about EDI. Like it really develops. Like it gives you that networking experience, all of that.
And,
So
and it is like a
yeah,
tight knit family.
absolutely. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. I'll take advantage of it.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna do that. I'm gonna take advantage. Well, thank you so much, Brittney. We are so glad to have you. Thank you, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we'll be in touch.
For sure.
We'll be in touch.
absolutely, no, thank you. Very humbled and honored. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
We'll see you soon.
And to our fans,
That's right.
Captain Brittney Baker.
That's right. The first Black female captain in St. Paul Fire Department.
Yep.
So, what an accomplishment. What an accomplishment. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
All right, Firehouse fans. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.